My channel. I am doing a short series on 5 things that people often struggle with when it comes to manifesting. And this is the first video of the series, which I'm calling, and this is the first video in the series, which is about and this is the first video in the series, which is about wanting your desire versus aligning with your desire. And a lot of people struggle with this because a desire obviously is something that you want. And but some people get stuck in the wanting phase and never fully transition into the aligning phase, which is really essential, the most important phase of getting your manifestation. So the wanting phase is when some people feel like or get stuck in wanting their desire so badly that what that does is it really fosters a vibration of I don't have it. And so long as you keep perpetuating that wanting phase, you never actually transition into having it. You just end up manifesting wanting something. But we all want something, right? We've seen so many people, people who pray over things and they just want it so bad that they just keep wanting, but that wanting creates a feeling of lack, the opposite feeling of actually having your desired manifestation, your desired reality, or a desired thing. So so as long as you keep wanting and keep that sort of desperate feeling inside of you, then you will never get it. And some people think, oh, I want it really bad. But that's actually not the vibration to receiving. You can't want something. If you're wanting something that you don't have, then you can't receive it, something that you've already given to yourself. So if you'll look, I'll put a link in the video here or here. I did a video on my system of manifesting quickly and efficiently, which is give it to yourself. I call it giddy, getting giddy with it. Give it to yourself. So that's GITY. And so why this helps is and why this helps you get your manifestation quicker is because the universe basically reflects what you already are. It reflects where you are vibrationally and period and emotionally. So if you give it to yourself, you meaning your desired thing, your desired reality, uh, your desired job. I mean, it could be anything that you desire. Once you give it to yourself, if you give it to yourself, then the universe has no choice but to follow through on what you've given yourself because your 3D reality, excuse me, because your 3D reality is a reflection of who you think you are, what you give yourself, who you perceive yourself to be deep down, because you can't lie to the universe. So if you give it to yourself to the point of already feeling like you have it, like you've already gotten it, and really where you're kind of almost perceiving that it's in your past, you were given it already. And because you were given it already, you were already living that desired life, or that does, your desired self who has that desired thing, or who has that desired career or existence, right? Your desired reality. So if you give it to yourself and it's in your past, you're already living it in your present. And that's once you get to that state, that is how you align to receiving that desired reality. That is when the desired reality will start to show up in your life. And so, the point is to just not get stuck in that wanting. And how you can do that and how you can get unstuck, so to speak, is to visualize your desired reality, re- visualize yourself having that desired thing, but from your desired self. So, honestly, your thought process in getting to this point is fantastic. So, you just spend some time thinking about, how would I feel once I have that thing? How would I be using that thing? Like if it, let's say it's, let's say the thing is, let's say it's feeling secure in your job. You want to feel secure in your job. Maybe you just got a new job. You really like it. You want to make sure that it stays around. Like maybe some people have been being laid off or being fired or whatever, but you want to feel safe and secure in having that job. So then just start imagining, how would I feel if I knew that this job would never go away? How would that feel? uh, maybe you wake up and you're feeling like excited to go to your job. Maybe you're feeling useful in the job. How does it feel to be useful, to feel useful in your job? Um, what kinds of things are your supervisors or managers saying to you that make you further know that you are secure in your job? Maybe they're really liking the progress you're making. Your progress reports are just amazing. Uh, your coworkers find you valuable. Uh, the customers, if you're dealing if with customers or clients, maybe they're feeling appreciative of everything you do. Maybe they're complimenting you on what you're doing for them and telling you how their life is changing because of what you're doing for them. So these are the kinds of conversations that you can imagine, and just make sure that you, im- you know, imbue these scenes with your emotions. How does it feel to get these kinds of compliments? How are you feeling about yourself? If you're getting this kind of feedback, your self-esteem is probably feeling amazing. uh and then everything else kind of is improving in your life. You're happier, and because you're happier, your relationships around you, maybe with your wife or your husband or your kids, all of these relationships will improve because you are feeling better about yourself. And then you're really truly aligning to, once you get that feeling and it feels good, you're aligning to your desired reality versus just wanting it. And you're no longer wanting it because you've got it. You've already got it. So you have to pretend like you've already gotten what it is that you're seeking, what it is that you're wanting. So, in this second video, in this little short 5 video series about things that people often struggle with in terms of manifesting, I'm going to be talking about I'm going to be talking about letting go of the desired reality, or the manifestation, versus obsessing over it. So, a lot of you might be asking yourself, what is taking my manifestation so long? I'm clear about what I've manifested. I'm clear about what I'm wanting, what my desire is. Why is it taking so long? How long is it going to take to get my desired manifestation, reality, thing, whatever? So, a lot of people get stuck feeling desperate. So, a lot of people get stuck feeling desperate. They feel desperate for their manifestation. Let's say it's a specific person. That's a big one that a lot of people get stuck on, because maybe they see their specific person is dating someone else, is with someone else, and it just drives them mad because they're thinking, how am I possibly going to get this person back if they're too busy, in a relationship with someone else? How is that going to happen? And it can look, and a lot of the times before we get our manifestation, sometimes right before we get our manifestation, we get a scene, or not just really a scene, but we will see a 3D reality that looks the exact opposite of what we're wanting. And so we get this sense of desperation, like, I've got to do something. I have to take action. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to happen. And when you get in that mode, that's really where doubts can creep in to your manifestation and sabotage it. And so, uh, you really just have to ignore 3D reality. This is the point where I always say, you kind of have to get, what's the word? Not delirious, though. You have to get, delusional. That's the, sometimes you have to get delusional and realize that the 3D reality is what you manifested in the past. It has nothing to do with the now, and it has nothing to do with your manifestation unless you let those doubts creep in. I mean, it's just going to sabotage it and make it not come. And then you'll really be wondering, when is it going to come? I'm busy. Come back later. Come back later. You can check on the soup if you want. Um, so so you have to get delusional. You have to look past the distractions and keep your eye and your mindset and your emotions on what you know you've already manifested. If you've done the visualization and seen your manifestation come true to the point where you know it's coming, and anything that you desire is already done. The point of the part that is the difficult, can be difficult, is the in between you desiring it and then you actually receiving it, being in the receiving mode. So the point is to not get stuck in doubts and things like that, and to continue to just dismiss the 3D reality. If you're seeing your boyfriend or your girlfriend out there with someone else, just know in your heart, just focus more on how it feels to be in the relationship with that person. Focus on, how does he or she make you feel? What does it feel like? What kinds of things are you doing in the relationship that feel really good? Things that would draw emotion from you. Maybe you can envision that other person, they're cooking a meal for you, or you can imagine them proposing to you. You can imagine, say, spending an afternoon with them at the park, and how does it make you feel to be with them in their presence? How does it make you feel? It makes you feel safe and secure. Feel that safety and security in the relationship. Feel yourselves, like, say, at a party, at a friend's party, and giving each other looks across the room, knowing that you are safe and secure in your relationship, and how much that person loves you, and how it feels to be loved by someone who fully supports you. How does that feel? And imagine it with that person, like, see them from your point of view. You're looking at them and across the room, and there you feel that love from across the room. Or maybe you're at a restaurant having a date night. How does that feel? What does it feel like to know that you always have something to talk about, that you're interested in each other, and invested in each other, and learning things outside the relationship that you can bring into the relationship and talk about. Um, how does that all that feel? And how does it feel for them to embrace you and to kiss you and love on you? How does that feel? And it feels, you probably feel the same thing back. And how does it feel to know that, if you do have an argument, if anything comes up, that you can talk to each other, that you're being open with your feelings with each other. Those are the kind of things that you want to focus on and you can have imaginal scenes about while you're as you're aligning in order to align to that desired reality. And then you just when you're outside, when you're not having after you've had those imaginal scenes and you feel that feeling, how it feels to be in the relationship, then you have to just let it go. The point is to let it go, knowing that it's already done. It is already done. You felt the feelings. And anytime maybe a doubt might come up or something happens in 3D reality, just remember how you felt in that moment, in that visualization. Remember that. And then just let it go. Just know it's done. And just get delusional and say no to 3D reality. Nope, that's in the past. That's ridiculous. That's in the past. That's how it was. But now he's with me or she's with me. So I'm doing a little series. So this is the third video in a 5 video series about about okay. So this is the third video in the little 5 video series I'm doing about what people tend to struggle with in terms of getting their manifestations and manifesting. And this one is about affirmations. A lot of people are wondering or might be wondering, what do affirmations do when they actually work? And maybe how do you work affirmations to get your desired reality? What part do they play? Uh, and how does your subconscious play in terms of doing affirmations? So basically, affirmations are what you do to get your mind right, basically, to get you in the right mindset to receive. Because that's really what deliberate manifesting is all about is receiving something specifically. Like you want to target something, you're tired of what you've been manifesting on rote, meaning, without thinking about it. You want to manifest some specific things in your life, a better life. And your subconscious is essential because how you feel subconsciously, meaning emotionally, deep down, is what gets revealed on the plane of 3D reality. So, if what you're seeing in the 3D reality isn't really what you're wanting to be seeing or be happening, then you haven't quite aligned to your desired reality. And affirmations are huge in terms of helping you get your mind right, getting your mindset right. And sometimes you have to convince yourself. So let's say you want to manifest winning the lottery, then you have to get your mindset right to believing that you can win. Not only that you can win, you have to get your mindset to believe that you've already won. Yeah, you've already won. So that you're really going to rely heavily obviously on visualization, but also what's essential is getting your mind right to thinking that oh, it's possible. And not only is it possible, it's already happened. And you can do that with affirmations, or affirmations can really help. They also can really help when you're in the beginning stages of learning how to manifest or learning to change your mindset to deliberately manifest. And so I've done this. I did this for a long time where there are things you can do. So, like, I made a video, or not a video, but an audio recording of my manifestations. So, first, I wrote down, it could even just be like 10 15, 10 manifestations. Let's keep it easy. 10 things or 10 affirmations, pardon me. It can just be like 5 to 10 affirmations that you put on repeat. Either you go through them in your head or you can record them on some type of audio. I managed to do an audio with some, like Hertz music or, soft music in the background. And that would just repeat the affirmations to myself, and I could just plug it in. I would fall asleep with them and listen to them while I was sleeping. And that's when your subconscious mind really is at its softest, to where it's more permeable when you're about to fall asleep. And so I would just put some earbuds in and listen to this on a loop. And it helped me fall asleep. And it also helped me get in the mindset of thinking of myself in a certain way, and bringing my mindset around to thinking and knowing, not just thinking, but knowing that I am the things that I say I am. Everything is always working out in my favor. Um, I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am, I, I feel I am fulfilled. Um, and it's important, I think, to always use I am affirmations because, as I've said in previous videos, when you tell yourself you are something, you are. If you say, I am such and such, then you are that. If you say, and then you can reinforce that by saying, I am that I am. And so only I am statements, and make sure they're positive statements. Instead of saying I'm not poor, you would just say I am rich. Because if you say I'm not poor, the focus is on poor instead of rich, right? And so always make the statements positive, and then use I am statements. Those are great. You can say I am. You can also say I have. So I have such and such. I have uh, a secure job. I already have it. I already have it. And then, in addition to that, you can always follow it up with, and isn't it wonderful? That's always a wonderful thing, because it's always a great way to it's always a great thing to add on to an affirmation. Isn't it wonderful? Because then you start to feel like, yes, it is wonderful. It kind of hits deep in the emotional space. So, and once you get these affirmations going and you start doing them on a regular basis, you could read them to yourself in the morning, or listen to them in the morning, listen to them in the evening. You can put them on a ticker tape. You start to repeat them throughout your day, these affirmations. Just repeat and repeat. This is what some people call robotic affirmations, repeating them over and over and over. And but making sure that but a good way to reinforce these affirmations is to think about them as you're saying them, so that they're not just empty affirmations that you're saying. So if you're saying, I feel safe and secure, I am safe and secure in my job, then as you're saying safe, I am safe, I am secure in my job. Feel that safety, feel that security, and internally ask yourself, you could ask yourself, why am I so safe in my job? Why am I so secure in my job? And this is a great exercise to do with affirmations, because then that makes you think of ways that you are feeling in that desired reality. And you'll start to feel the emotions, or you will feel the emotions of those affirmations. They will become real to you. And so these are the ways that you can boost your affirmations so that they work even better. The more you feel it, the better they will be. The more you feel it, the better they will work for you. And that really is the key to doing affirmations and aligning and getting into your desired reality.